If you aren't moving forward, you're moving backward. People with a fire burning in them often can relate to this, and the high productivity life has many different mantras associated with it. You might have heard phrases like, "No more 0 days," or "Be 1% better each day." These are the mottos that the top 0.7% often use, and in fact, they work. That said, while there's no harm in living this way and reaching for the top, it's worth gaining a little perspective about what this lifestyle actually means to you. James Clear defines productivity as a measure of efficiency of a person completing a task. The one constant you might notice among highly successful people is that they make productivity a part of their identity. These are people who have no empty spots or useless holes during their days. They're always working towards their next goal to improve and get better with what they're doing. Perhaps you've also noticed that some people simply don't have this fire in them. Why is that the case?
A voice in your head that wants you to do nothing.
Why is it that some people have an innate desire to get ahead and some people are satisfied with the minimum?
This is what a professional does. A professional goes to work.
More importantly, which category do you currently fall into? If you're watching this video, you probably fall into the second type, but want to become like the first. I'm here to tell you that it is possible to make this switch, so buckle up. The first step is to understand where the fire of productivity comes from. If we don't know this, we will only apply all productivity principles at a 50% level. So where does it come from? It comes from purpose. Ambition, mission, or purpose. All of them indicate that we need to have a final goal of reaching our ultimate potential. People who are complacent with where they are have never really reflected on what the best version of themselves would look like. Finding a source of productivity and learning its secrets is an entire topic that we already covered in one of our previous videos, which I'll link for you down in the description. Regardless of how you think of how the world handled the COVID-19 pandemic, it's obvious that it taught us a few important lessons. We saw a boom in remote working, and people realized that going into an office every day wasn't as important as we were led to believe. Further, it was a challenge to stay productive when you were no longer in an office environment, but it was a skill worth investing in. Those who choose to work remotely today quickly realize that it takes a lot of personal responsibility to stay productive. Learning how to be your own manager is a skill that is worth developing. It involves discovering the power of schedules, goals, and deadlines. Just like a conventional manager, you are the one who ends up facing the consequences if you fail to reach your goals in time. Learning the skill of self-accountability is cool, but why? Why are so many people wanting to be productive all of a sudden? Is it yet another manufactured movement for influencers to sell courses? No, not exactly. The truth is, there are several valid reasons why you might want to focus on productivity. For one, when you cut out wasteful activities and focus on achieving goals, it kills vagueness, something that can affect many aspects of your life. It's hard to emphasize how important mental clarity is for anything you do, and living a high productivity lifestyle helps a lot with this. Then you have the obvious benefits of upgrading different parts of your world. Being productive means you do better at your job or business. You will most likely make more money, and you're out there taking advantage of opportunities and enjoying both the materialistic and non-materialistic rewards. However, this lifestyle can be deceptive, and there is a dark side to it. If you haven't already, it's time to ask yourself, is the high productivity lifestyle really for you? Like all things in life, we are trying to find a balance. It seems odd to ever think that too much of a good thing can ever be bad. It's fine to have goals and achieve them, but anyone who puts in a disproportionate amount of effort toward reaching the top is risking a lot. Even though the productivity lifestyle involves seeing cause and effect working in your favor, life isn't meant to be so black and white. The most interesting people you meet are those who experiment. Pioneers, adventurers, and travelers. What do they have in common? They don't lead one-dimensional lives. While you may want to focus on being as productive as possible and continue to push yourself to do hard work and be the best version of yourself, this can lead to disastrous consequences. What type of consequences? Burnout.
When you can't do anything, you suffer from this cognitive overload that is commonly known as burnout.
Burnout on a scale that makes Monday morning blues seem like a walk in the park. When you have pushed away other aspects, priorities, hobbies, and more to focus on productivity, the eventual crash can be devastating. You push yourself because you keep telling yourself it's all about hard work, but it becomes an endless cycle that you get stuck in. One reason for this is that you forget that priorities change with age. You put in so much effort for the goals that you're currently longing for. What happens when you reach an age and a point where you wonder, did I ignore my friends, family, relationships, and all the things that make life beautiful for something that doesn't matter as much anymore?
It's like I had a lot of good things in my life. Like I had met my wife and, was building a family. I had, good things, but I was very detached from this career path that I had chosen as a lawyer, and I felt trapped, and I couldn't find an escape hatch. I didn't know how I would ever get out of it.
You see this happen to so many people who join a big company straight out of college and work their way up the corporate ladder. They hit middle age and then wonder, what was it all for? Money? There are easier ways to earn it. Status? Stability? Is it any wonder they decide to go on a quest to find meaning, retiring from their corporate jobs and wondering what the last 30 years of their lives meant? The hit to your body, mind, and relationships because of obsessive productivity is something you really want to be prepared for. But how do you know if you're on this toxic path yourself? According to Natalie Datillo, a clinical psychologist at Harvard Medical School, there are a few signs to look out for. You're on the go all the time. You feel guilt and shame about not doing enough. You equate your self-worth with your productivity level. You neglect self-care. You find it difficult to relax and unwind. For each of these symptoms, the solution involves becoming aware of the problem. The biggest issue with people who live in a state of toxic productivity is that they aren't able to recognize these symptoms. This is why anyone starting a high productivity lifestyle needs to start their journey by ensuring they have checks and balances. This means developing habits that ground you and offer increased self-reflection and awareness. A combination of regular mindfulness, meditation, journaling, and even talking with a trusted friend can make a world of difference. The key thing to remember is that the dark side of productivity can't be pushed away or ignored. When you're so focused on your goals, this becomes the way that many people deal with the negative consequences. Thankfully, it's relatively easy to keep your life on track. Try to keep your higher order goals in mind. When you do so, you avoid getting blindsided by the consequences. If you fear that your commitment to productivity is going to ruin relationships or cause you pain in some area, take steps to counter it. If you fail to do so, things might seem okay for a while, but it catches up to you. If you get hooked by this video and you want to get more insights about the lesser-known aspects of a high productivity lifestyle, then you might want to check out this video on the secrets no one tells you about monk mode.